Welcome to episode 7 of Terrorshewrote. I'm Brittany.
I'm Nicole.
So we gave you guys stories of our friends and Reddit stories, but this time we're going to read a personal story of Nicole's.
It's me.
Yeah, you.
Me.
And this one, every time I think about it, I get the chills. I turn on the lights. I don't even know if everyone's prepared for this story.
Too fucking bad. Here we go.
Great. Fantastic.
How are you? How's everything going?
I'm good. I haven't talked to you in like 2 weeks since we last recorded.
Damn, it's been 2 weeks. Oh, I missed you too.
I missed your voice in my ear holes. But yeah, so my sister visited me for a whole month here. And you know what happened to her the moment she landed? Well, I wouldn't say the moment. So everyone, never hold in a fart for 12 hours.
Uh-oh.
It is not good for you.
Uh-oh.
After 4 days of being back in California, she got her appendix removed.
Shut up.
Yeah, she had surgery. She had surgery a few days ago.
Oh no.
I know. Because like while she was here, like she was really going ham on all like the gelato, the pizza and everything, but she was having like constipation problem here. I don't know if this is too personal, but she doesn't care. And yeah, I guess what made it worse was holding in a fart for 12 fucking hours.
Why would she do that? Why didn't just go to like the airplane bathroom?
She tried.
Oh,
but it wouldn't come out.
Oh
Nothing
no,
was coming out.
That poor soul.
I know she tried holding it, and I guess holding it made it worse. So every time she tried, it was just too late. And yeah, she has no appendix. She literally has had 3 surgeries, and she's only 28. She's had like a foot surgery, and then she had a hip surgery 2 years ago.
A hip surgery?
Yeah, she had hip surgery, dude.
God damn.
Now she had her appendix removed. And this is where the dream, I'm going to start with the dream, which will lead to your story, okay?
Okay.
I had a dream before she left, the day before she left, that I was having intense pain in my right side. And in my dream, I'm literally feeling it, screaming on the floor. And she's with me, like holding me, like saying, like, what's wrong? And I'm like, it hurts so much. I can barely move. I was curled up on the floor. And then she was just being there for me, like taking care of me. And I guess she's the one with the issues.
Dang.
When I woke up. Yeah.
That's crazy.
She took it from me. I'm like, it probably would have happened to me, but she's like, nah, sis.
I got you.
I got you.
I'm the older one.
Let me take the pain. It's like the Encanto movie with the older sister.
Yeah.
Oh, that was her. I'm like, I know, that makes me sad, actually. But yeah, that was my dream before she left. And then she gets her appendix removed. Speaking of dreams, though.
Speaking of dreams.
Are you ready?
Are you talking to me or the listeners?
You.
Oh, yes, I'm ready. Here we go.
Well, listeners, are you also ready?
Too fucking bad.
Yes. Oh. She's fired up.
Fired. You're fired. Oh, God.
Ugh.
Anyways. So, here is my story. I typed it out because sometimes I just typed it up way better than I actually talk about it. So, in 2019, an ex and I decided to get back together after 5 years of being apart. We'll call him Tom. He was renting a home that belonged to a family friend of his. The home was old, decrepit, and needed to be torn down. He had been living there for a few months while the family contemplated and prepared for it to be demolished. I was living with my parents while I was saving and searching for a new apartment. It seemed like the stars were aligning, so we moved into a 2-bedroom apartment together. Everything was going great until COVID. We were constantly clashing and yelling at each other about past grievances, and no matter how often we sat down to work through it, someone would always get agitated or defensive.
Bruh. Guys, never get back with your ex. Never.
Don't fucking do it. Listen, not even just with my story, just in general, don't do it. It's so bad for you and your health.
You broke up for a reason.
Exactly.
Remember that.
Yes. Doesn't matter how much you love them. You don't anymore.
You just solved the world's problems.
About 8 months into the relationship, I started having a dream where I'd be standing in front of a sea of people and all of them were looking at me as if I was a performer and they were my audience. Though this audience seemed to be in some sort of stasis, not a single person was moving around. They donned blank expressions, staring straight into me. I don't think they were even blinking. They seemed frozen in place, mannequins almost. As I'm scanning all these faces, my gaze becomes fixated on something in the back of the crowd. I'm intrigued by this. It seems like the only person that's different from the rest. I'm trying to focus on this person to see what makes them stand out from the rest, and as I'm straining to put the pieces together, I realize this is the only person smiling at me. I can see every individual face in the crowd, the color of their eyes, the clothes they're wearing, but I can't see this person's features. It's a solid figure of complete darkness, besides that smile. I try to tear my gaze away from him to look at the crowd that seems so harmless compared to him, but I can't. I'm frozen in terror, and I can't breathe anymore. I want it to stop, but I don't know how to wake up. How the hell do I wake up?
So for everyone who's listening, I'm not sure if we explained in the beginning, this is Nicole's actual experience. This isn't some story she's made up. This is something that she went through. So
yeah, and if you've gone through it, if you've gone through this and you're listening, please, for the love of God, tell me, because I tell this story all the time and everybody's like, wow, that's so creepy. I would really like somebody else to be like, yeah, no, bitch, same. So that I can work through this trauma with somebody else. Because talking about it isn't working. I'm still traumatized.
And you're reliving it today.
Today and always.
And tomorrow.
Yeah, and every day is every day. Okay. Somehow I finally wake up. I'm panicking and I'm shaking Tom awake. I tell him between gasping breaths that I had a terrible dream. He's a fairly religious person and tells me to wear his rosary to sleep. Reluctantly, I allow him to put it around my neck, and I fall back into a dreamless sleep. As jarring as the experience was, I shook it off the next morning. It was only a dream, right? Wrong! I really enjoy that I put that in there. That makes me so happy.
Bitch thought.
Bitch, you thought. This dream haunted me every single night from there on out. People wouldn't move, wouldn't speak, wouldn't blink. Were they even fucking breathing? Each of them with that blank expression while the dark figure was smiling at the back. Every single night, the same dream, the same panicked entry into the waking world. In each dream, the crowd would become thinner, allowing that darkness to get closer and closer. It was as if they were biding their time, a predator toying with his prey. I was so terrified to fall asleep just to be jolted awake in the middle of the night. That sleep deprivation was affecting who I was in the real life. I was going absolutely insane. A month of terror, a month of deprivation, I began waking up paralyzed. Now I couldn't move, I couldn't speak. I could only stare into the darkness of my room with tears in my eyes and panic in my soul. I'm not a religious person by any means. Most times I don't even believe in a higher power, but if the only thing keeping me from this terror was putting a rosary on, then fuck it. Baby Jesus, do your thing.
Amen.
Hallelujah. Baby Jesus.
Yo, did you ever go to church growing up?
Yeah.
Were you forced to go to church? Yeah.
I sure was.
Did you ever have a band instead of a choir? So it's like just a band?
No, we had a choir, but I went to a couple of churches with my friends and they had like a band.
Yeah, because in mine, there was a band. I grew up Catholic, so we went to Catholic masses and The band always made us do all these dances for like the Hallelujah song. We're like, Hallelujah. And then like, yes. Wait, no. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord.
Okay.
Everyone, I'm like, yes, Lord. But it wasn't really
okay,
hyped.
Loser.
Like
that's what that looked like.
My mom. Yeah. You'd be like, yes, loser. Yes. Oh,
you
God.
poor Catholics.
Sorry. I grew up Catholic. If you were in the band, you'd be like, to everyone in the crowd.
Fuck
yeah. Amen to the rosary, though. All right.
Yeah.
So left off on
Baby Jesus.
Baby Jesus. All right.
Okay. The dream still happened, but I wasn't terrified anymore. I wouldn't be jolted awake in the middle of the night. The group stopped thinning out, and the darkness remained rooted to the spot in the back. Each dream with the rosary on, that figure became a shadow, then a mist. I couldn't see a smile anymore, but I could sense that the darkness was boiling with anger, but I didn't care. I was safe. Every time my eyes met that darkness, it was my turn to smile. A week later, the rosary broke. Tom tells me that the string holding the prayer beads snapped, even though there were no signs of fraying. All of the beads ended up scattered on the ground around the nightstand.
We already know how it broke. Let's be honest here.
Yeah, that motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
It was
Bitch
Tom.
ass.
Tom did it. I'm just kidding.
Tom.
He
Fuck
didn't
you,
do that.
Tom.
That was his favorite rosary. He definitely didn't do that.
Never mind, Tom. I hope you find a better rosary.
I didn't write it in the story, but that's the only rosary that he had that was blessed by a priest. So just so you guys, it had holy water and stuff on it, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
He could sense my devastation and ultimate panic and told me that we could use one of his other rosaries in its place. I felt some ease by this, but my gut was telling me it wouldn't be enough. That night with the replaced rosary, the energy in the room was different. There were too many people to count, but I could tell. The crowd had thinned again. I felt the panic rise in my chest as I quickly scanned the crowd searching, knowing there was no way out but to find him and watch him. He wasn't a mist anymore. He was a solid figure again, and he was smiling. I'm telling myself, wake up! Wake up! There's a ringing in my ears and I'm gasping for air as I'm forced to stare into the eyes of my nightmare. The darkness begins to laugh, a deep, guttural laugh that doesn't sound human. I couldn't run in these dreams. I know, right?
I hate that so much.
And I can hear it now. As I'm like reading it, it's like, it's not robotic, but it's just not fun. It's not fun.
No, absolutely. I can't imagine it being fun at all.
It's deep and guttural and ho, 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 ho. I'm just kidding.
Santa Claus Santa this whole fucking time?
You're real? Let's see. Oh, okay. I couldn't run in these dreams, but as soon as that laugh begins, I finally tear my gaze and shut my eyes, telling myself, please, just wake up. I feel the futility of screaming. Maybe I just need to face this nightmare to be jolted back to reality, so I open my eyes again. He's still laughing. It becomes more hysterical, like I'm the funniest fucking thing he's ever had the pleasure of taunting.
Oh my God.
There's tears in my eyes and pleading in my bones. The crowd is smiling now. They can move now, and they want to take me. My final plea to wake the fuck up is answered. I felt like I was screaming. I thought I was thrashing, but I wasn't. I was physically paralyzed. I could feel the tears streaming down my face. I could hear Tom fucking snoring while I'm lying there
fucking
terrified.
Tom.
He fucking pisses me off.
He didn't do shit for you here.
He really
Fuck
didn't.
you, Tom.
He's such a dick. That's why we didn't work out.
Yeah, exactly.
The rosary didn't work. In my heart, I knew it wouldn't. A false hope my mind conjured up. Sleep paralysis has taken over, and all I can do is frantically scan around the dark room and wait for it to subside. The room becomes colder. The sound somehow dampens around me, and my ears start to ring. I move my eyes to the open doorway and into the hall. It's pitch black, but nobody is there. Then I hear it, that deep, guttural laugh reduced to a chuckle. I know I'm awake. This isn't the dream. I want to scream, I want to run, but I'm stuck. The darkness is going to fucking kill me. Everything that I am is just a husk of a human being. At this point, it's like a nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh.
I'm telling myself to stay awake, don't fall asleep. But my Freddy Krueger isn't a burned man with fucking blades for fingers. To be honest, I'd rather have Freddy Krueger haunting me. At least I have a comprehensive guide on his weaknesses. But it seems like this figure has no weaknesses besides the rosary that now lays in bits in the trash. He doesn't care about the light. It's almost blinding every time I dream. I've given up hope. I'm just waiting for him to finally walk through the threshold of my bedroom and end this literal nightmare. I'm in fucking hell. Tom doesn't understand why I'm so fearful. He just thinks it's a shitty dream and I'm being dramatic. And I'm so exhausted by my nightmares and our inability to just talk to each other, I end up admitting defeat. It's an exhausting cycle mentally and physically.
Man, fuck you, Tom.
Yeah, fuck you, Tom.
Again. Take a shot every time we say fuck you, Tom.
Yeah.
While they're driving.
Don't tell anybody. I finally reach my breaking point after 3 months, and I tell him we're done. That he needs to get his shit and get out as soon as possible. I'm still being hunted in my dreams, but at least my reality isn't a fight anymore. It's still COVID, so moving is nearly impossible. Or maybe he's just so fucking useless, he doesn't even try to find somewhere to live. I don't really know, and I don't really care. I was so pissed by this.
Let
me tell you. That shit pissed me off. Like, he had so many opportunities to just leave. Just get out of my fucking apartment. But no, this motherfucker, he's like, oh, I can't. All I'm doing is working at like fucking... And I'm like, I need you out. Like, go live with your mom, your brother. I don't really fucking care. You have tons of family where you could just get out of my life. No.
Honestly, he is the reason you're having these nightmares. So if he had just left in that moment, I feel like you would have been at peace already.
Such a fucking prick. Anyways, I'm not bitter anymore.
No, it doesn't look like it.
No, not at all.
Fuck Tom.
Fuck you, Tom.
Is that the title?
Yeah, fuck you, Tom.
Fuck you, Tom.
Hell yeah. That's the fucking title.
All right, continue.
I know the end is nearing in my dreams. I know the figure is about to step into the threshold of my bedroom. The crowd is only 5 to 10 people now. Blank stares, no movement, no noises. The figure smiles, but he's not laughing anymore. I take that as a small blessing. Every time I wake up, he's in my home. This time, he's halfway to the end of my bed. I wish it would stop. I wish he would just get it over with. He just smiles until I lose consciousness again. I know in the next nightmare, he'll be able to touch me, to grab a hold and strangle me, savoring the kill the way he savored the hunt. Today I'm just a body moving. I have no thoughts besides the darkness and my impending doom. I can only think about the hell awaiting me. In a way, he was preparing me for it. That elicits a small chuckle in my throat. I fall asleep expecting the same room, the same figure, but that's not where I am. I'm sitting crisscross on the floor in a bedroom that's unfamiliar, watching a little girl on a small step stool paint her walls with clouds and rainbows. Though I'm confused by my surroundings, my heart swells with happiness for this unknown child. She's currently painting the sun and putting silly sunglasses on it, and I say something to her that I can't really comprehend. She looks over her shoulder, smiling at me and giggling. She has paint on her cheek and forehead, her clothes are splattered in paint. She steps off the stool and tosses the paintbrush down on the plastic covering the floor and rushes over to me. She's familiar, but not. She has my eyes, my nose, but her hair is red where mine is brown. Her skin is fair where mine is olive. Now I know she's an image of a daughter I haven't had yet, with a husband I haven't met. My eyes are lined with tears of joy. My future, my beautiful, sweet future. She's looking at me with a smile on her face. She's so close to me with her arms wrapped around my shoulders. I only want to focus on her and the brightness in her eyes that reflect my own. She says something to me, but I don't understand it. It doesn't reach my brain, so I ask her what she said, my brows furrowed. A moment ago, she was animated, beautiful and bright. I blinked, and her gaze is as vacant as the crowd used to be. arms still around my neck in an embrace. She tries to tell me again, but still nothing. I'm worried for her. I try to ask her what's wrong, but I don't hear myself. Finally, I hear the word she's been repeating over and over. He's here. I blink, and the little girl is gone. The darkness replaced her. His smile is terrifying. His eyes are black with flecks of gold. No. Is that red? His final taunt. To show me what my life would have been, but will no longer be. It was only a moment, hardly even a couple seconds before I'm awake again. Paralyzed while I lay in my bed, I thought I had come to terms with my fate, but he gave me a beautiful dream to tear it away, to give me hope when there was none. My eyes look towards the end of my bed, expecting him to be there, but instead I feel a slithering hand along my arm. It's cold and harsh. I can't see him, but I know it's him. I fight the paralysis, and now I'm thrashing around trying to get him away from me. His hand is wrapped around my neck, squeezing the oxygen from me. He's ripping my flesh with sharp claws with his other hand. I can't remember what happened next. Maybe I pass out, but I'm waking up and the sun is out. My throat aches where his hands were, and there's a sting where he scratched me. I get up from bed and go to the mirror. I have bruises around my neck that's already yellowing, and gashes that should have been deep enough to scar are just red marks. I'm alive. Holy shit. I'm alive. I tell this story to anyone willing to listen. It feels like the more I talk about it, the less real it feels. Sometimes I tell it because I want someone to tell me I'm not crazy, and they experience that darkness amongst and tell me I'm not fuck.
Fuck you, Tom.
You, Tom, I can't even tell the fucking story because of you. Sometimes I tell it because I want someone to tell me I'm not crazy, and they experience that darkness amongst a crowd too. I once told Tom's brother about the dreams. His face grave and his eyes wide. His family went through something incredibly traumatic as kids. He told me that he and his brother were wrestling in their room as kids, and he got pinned down losing this round. Before he tapped out, he looked under the bed, seeing a dark figure staring at him, smiling at him. Everything about him was darkness except for the smile, the gold or red flakes in the eyes, reaching, waiting.
Fuck. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I always feel so speechless after you tell me this story.
I know.
Because it's the fact that this actually fucking happened, and it's not some story we read in a book. You went through this, and you have proof that it was all Tom's fault. It was
It's fucking
like,
Tom.
Fucking Tom. There was something attached to him that because you guys were fighting all the time, there's that negative energy. It was just feeding into it. Mm-hmm. And was like, ooh, I like her. She seems very sensitive to supernatural, I guess I would say.
Yeah. He was really sensitive to it too. And the house that he lives in Arlington was like haunted as fuck. We would hear a bunch of shit happen in that house.
Hell no.
Yeah. He once went to like a yoga thing at a witchcraft store, like a witchy store. And one of the girls that was like manning the front was like, oh, you have such a bright light protecting you. Like you have such a, whatever the fuck. And while he was like doing yoga or whatever meditation that they were doing, he saw a figure walking across the store, just like behind bookcases or like something. And nobody else saw it. After I talked to his brother about it, I realized that there's a possibility that he had this thing following him around. And because I was so vulnerable and like just completely drained from working all the time and fighting all the time with him, that fucking demon was like, easy prey, here I go.
Yeah.
So
the first rosary worked until you woke up and it was broken. Then you have a second one that was probably from the 99-cent store.
Yeah.
And that wasn't blessed. So obviously that one didn't work. And I think it amused that entity, that demon that latched onto you.
Oh, yeah.
I have no words. And I can't believe you went through that. You're
Me
alive.
neither.
My
I'm
God,
alive.
You're alive. You're alive.
Yeah, dude. So that's my story.
Thank you for sharing your story.
Oh, you're
That was
welcome.
terrifying. And I hope everyone will feel just as terrified as I do. Because I kept peeking at my closet behind me. And I'm like,
Hello?
I'm like, is someone there? It's like if
Right.
Lilith walks out of there right now, I'll be pissed at her. Because
Oh,
sometimes she'll just
dude.
walk out.
That is terrifying.
Love you, Lilith. Like she's listening to this podcast. But damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
Zam.
Zion. That was there I go. I keep repeating what you say. Sometimes I find myself repeating what you're saying because I find him like funny. I'm like, yeah, Zam. Pathetic, Britt.
Thanks. I'm just so funny.
You're hilarious. But yeah. Thank you for sharing your story.
Thanks for having me here.
thanks for joining. Or I don't want to.
Thanks for having me at our podcast that we are hosts of.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm honestly honored to have you here.
You have a short story that you can tell us.
So I'm debating on which one to tell you because both of them happened in the same house and it was my house.
Ooh.
So which one do you think I should read? My sister's, another one of my sisters, or my cousin who slept over and saw something in my room?
Let's do your cousin. I want to hear your cousin's story.
Okay, bet. Oh, before I continue, this is what I forgot to tell you. I remember the first story I read about my sister's experience in the room.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot to tell you what I heard. I went to her room. The door was closed. I knocked on the door and I heard, come in. A clear, come in.
Yeah.
I opened the door. I'm like, hey, She wasn't there. There was no one in the room. And I'm like, Ate? And she's like, what? She was in the kitchen.
Oh, no.
I'm like, hell nah. Hell no. I ran out. I'm like, I'm never going in your fucking room again.
Oh,
Fuck
my
that.
God.
But yeah, she had that on the note for me to remind you. She's like, you forgot to tell them about this. I'm like, oh, shit.
Oh, no. A mimic.
A mimic?
Yeah. I've been seeing so many things about mimics.
Do you know there's a mimic in Phasmophobia?
Yeah, I know. I played.
We should play.
I don't have my PS5, but I am going to one of my clients' houses. And I was thinking about getting it because I'm here for 12 days.
Yeah,
so I might go.
Might as well bring it and we can just play video games.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. You ready?
Oh, dude, hold on. Sorry.
What?
I have PS Plus, and I sent you guys a screenshot of the Michael Myers game.
Where did you send in our group chat?
I think so. Yeah.
I feel like I saw it when I was half asleep. Oh, there it is. Yep. Isn't that the Texas Chainsaw Massacre one?
Yeah.
What's the game about?
It's basically just running away from him.
Fuck that, dude. Fuck,
yeah, let's play that.
You know my fear.
Let's fucking do it. I want to play that so bad. I downloaded it and I was like, oh, this is going to be fucking good.
Well, then let me know when you bring the PlayStation there and then you and I can give it a shot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yay. Okay, tell me about your cousin's story.
I can't remember how old I was, but it must have been middle school. I was staying over at my cousin's house for a sleepover, mind you. This was not my first time sleeping over their house when we were kids, but it was definitely the last. It was me, my cousin Brittany, and her sister Kirsten, all sleeping in my cousin Brittany's room. I remember since we were younger, their younger brother Nigel was saying he wanted to sleep in the room with us. So everything was fine until we went to bed. I remember waking up somewhat early in the morning and just checking on my cousin Nigel for some reason, who was sleeping on the floor when I was on the bed. I know I was a little sleepy, a little drowsy, but when I looked over the bed and at the floor, I remember seeing a little boy. But that little boy wasn't Nigel. It looked like a white boy with black hair. If you ever seen The Grudge, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Bruh.
All I can think of is Scary Movie. When he's at the banister.
Sashimi!
Hibachi. Hibachi. Sushi.
Hello? Benihana teriyaki. I've been talking about that joke for weeks now, dude. Sashimi!
I'm gonna watch that fucking movie. It was so good.
Okay. And my cousin Nigel does not have fair skin. I don't know if I was just groggy at the time from just waking up, but when I first saw him, it didn't process in my head, and I ended up laying back down and closing my eyes. And then it clicked. I realized that it wasn't Nigel. There was no way that it was. I looked over again and he was gone. I swear, I felt like my heart was pounding so hard in my chest, I could hear it in my ears. I can't remember if I woke anyone up or afterwards. I remember asking Nigel later that morning if he ended up sleeping in the room with us that night, and he said no, he slept in his own room. To this day, when I think about it, I still get the chills. I think I remember telling my cousin Brittany and Kirsten that, as well as my aunt. And that's when they told me that their house had ghosts, an older woman who mostly stayed in their parents' room, and a little boy.
Oh, God.
I don't know if you remember me telling you about that little voice, that little kid voice up the staircase. And that older woman will be in the next episode because that's my sister's story in that house.
Oh, shit.
Pew, pew, pew.
Pew, 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 pew.
Ooh, ghost. But yeah, that was episode 7. Did something new?
It is. It is something new. Something old, something new, something blue. That is marriage. Thank you guys for listening. I hope you enjoyed. Please go follow, share, leave a review.
Also, if you have
Hello?
Benihana teriyaki. Also, if you have your own paranormal experience, send us an email and we'll feature you on the next podcast episode. It'll be down in the description box. We're on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Our Gmail, terrorshewrote@gmail.com. Find us on social media, terror.shewrote. Figure it out.
I was going to say, like, you just search it up. If you're interested, just search it up. I'm sick and tired of saying this. Search it up. I'm just kidding.
If you, search it, bitches.
Oh, yeah, we love you guys. Love you, bitches.
Love you, bitches. Bye.
Bye.